Alright guys, welcome back to another day at Two Eagles Garage here. We got a little brake video for you today. And there's going to be another video on this one too. I have a brake light and a ABS light on this one that we're going to fix too. That'll be a separate video too. Though. You've heard of the term, drive it till the wheels fall off of it? Well, I drove it till the brake pads fell out of it. Unfortunately, funds were not available to put brake pads on it at the time. I was hoping I would get a little more time, but unfortunately I did not. So let's take a gander at what the damage is. Rotor looks fine on the front, but the front pad ain't the one that fell out. Now, I've lost the pads on this side before. This ain't the first time I've lost the pads on this side. So I think we're gonna do new pins and new hardware on this side this time, because I don't want that to happen again. I may go ahead and do it on both sides. Fix me something to sit on here, so I'm not sitting on this wet ground. That's another reason we haven't made too many videos this year, guys. The ground has been so wet, and I don't have anywhere out of the shelter to work on stuff right now. So I'm out in the weather. So once it rains, it shuts me out. The ground is so soft I can't put anything on jack stands. I got a sheet of plywood up under here now to keep it up. Jack sinks into the ground, so it is what it is, guys. I mean, there ain't no other way to put it. I'll get as many videos as I can out. I got some small engine stuff coming out too. But this is a 96 Isuzu Rodeo. Let's pop this caliper off and see what we need here, fellas. I brought some air tools today. I brought some equipment so I don't have to work quite so hard. I have a job I need to do this weekend, but I don't know if I'm going to make it to it or not. Let's get you guys a little closer. I'll give you a little shot of this caliper over here too. I know the sun's in your eyes a little bit. See, that pad's good, but you can see the brake fluid all pulled down here and it slung it everywhere. I mean, there's brake fluid everywhere. So let's see what we got. I would put you guys on the other side, but I'd be taking you out with my air hose. So I don't want to have to do that. And on these particular vehicles, for some reason, guys, the lug nuts have a particular hard reason to come off. So I always put a little bit of anti-seize on my lug nuts. Makes them easier to come off in the future. Let's see here. I don't remember what size this was. I think it was a 9/16. Look at that, right on the head. 9/16. Let's see. Question is, do I have a 1/2 to a 3/8 adapter in here? And I don't think I do. I have a 3/8 to a 1/2. Now, why would I have a 3/8 to a 1/2 but not a 1/2 to a 3/8? That's not cool. Alright, we'll improvise then. I should have another 9/16 or similar up here. That would work. Because all I have is a 1/2 inch impact, and I'm not running back and forth to the shop 500 times. Which it's just 30 feet over there, but still. Y'all guys get the point. Hope you all had a good New Year and a good Christmas. Let's make some noise. If I can get my air gun in here. That bumper is in the way, something fierce. Bottom one attached for now. Side pin's not that bad. Not that dirty. That's not too awful bad. Let's get this pulled down. I'm gonna see if I can pull the caliper down. Yep, that's exactly what I thought happened. Dang, it was riding on that caliper. It ate that caliper up. That's toast. Nice and toasty. Now to find the brake pad, which is still somewhere in there. So the rotor's going to have to come off, which means the bracket's going to have to come off. Alright, let's get that bottom bolt out if I can. And I may have to go get the air ratchet. fit into a little tighter spots. Oh yeah. Not gonna happen with this ratchet. I'll bring you back, guys. Let me go grab the air ratchet real quick. Alright, guys. Brought back reinforcements. Unfortunately, I will have to change sockets this time, but that's alright. I should have plenty of air. This is a new air compressor, so I have to fight with it a little bit. I'm not getting enough power to it because all I have power in my shop is a drop cord right now. We'll get to all that in the future, though. Right now, I'm doing what I gotta do. Caliper pin looks bent. Come here, Mr. Pin. It looks like it may be bent just a little bit. Yeah, it's bent just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera or not. It's got a little wobble to it. Should have grabbed me a greaser rag while I was over there. Alright, there's the backing plate off the front pad. Let's take a gander at the front pad. Oh, she was getting close on the front. Not quite metal on metal, but she was getting close. She was getting darn close. Alright. Oh, the back of that rotor, though. These are brand new rotors, too. Oh, that thing is toast. No. These were brand new. Oh, that sucks. That sucks so bad. These were brand new rotors. Alright, let's get this caliper up here out of the way. I don't have anything to hang it on. Oh, by the way, I'm going to let you guys see this caliper. Unfortunately, this happened while I was on the road, so I had no way to get it home without having it towed, and it just chewed that caliper up. Luckily, I was only about a mile from home, so that caliper piston is toast. I'm probably going to be rebuilding the caliper. I think it was plastic anyway. No, it was metal. Alright, let's get this bracket off, guys. I don't think the ratchet will take it off, but we'll try it. Let's see, what size could it be? Let's try 3/4. Too big. I don't know, was it? Yeah, a little too big. We're going that size down. Let's see here. What about 11/16? That's better. And it's a half, of course. Do I have a... Yes, I have one for 3/8. There we go. Two bracket bolts, caliper bracket bolts. Those are 9/16. One on top, one on bottom. Yeah, that hardware's toast too. It needs new hardware too. Okay, so these screw into the bracket. And guys, just a recommendation, you should change your hardware every time you change the brakes. And by hardware, I mean your slide pins, your boots. These boots look good, so I'm gonna keep reusing them because I put these on the last time I did brakes on this thing, so I know they're not that old. And your clips, your retainer clips. These are also wear indicators. They go to squealing on your brake drum, and it tells you when your brakes are worn. If you guys remember back to when the channel first started, I did the front brakes and rotors on this car. Alright guys, brought out the ball peen. If this don't work, we'll bring out the SHF hammer. This shit hit the fan hammer. I think it's just got some corrosion on it, so we're just gonna pound on it a little bit. Oh shit. Oh, yeah, be right. I ain't worried about messing it up because it ain't no good. Seriously. Alrighty then. Yeah, it is corroded on there pretty good. I know you can put a screw in there, but I don't want to have to take the time to find a dadgum screw to fit it. Because I'm sure that I don't have one. Rotor is toast anyway. There we go, look at that, pop right off. Oh yeah, look at that guys. That rotor is toast. Trying to get you guys a good view of that, but it is just toast. I don't know how it got that bad. They were not wearing that bad. Yeesh, there's not even any turn in that one. Yeah, it's so thin they won't turn it. Dang. Alright. Let's see if the pad's in here. Yep, I see the pad. You guys see it? Yeah, you can see it. Look at the bottom of your screen, about center. I still got some life on my emergency brakes, so they should really be replaced, but still got some life on them. This car is disc brakes all the way around, all four wheels, which is awesome. But there's the pad. It was metal on metal. Has been for quite a while. Didn't realize it gotten that bad. Guess I'm gonna have to do better at keeping up with my own brakes and quit working on other people's stuff. Huh? Mechanic's life though. Work on everybody else's stuff more than you do your own. Caliper wasn't hung up or nothing. Alright guys, this is the passenger side. You guys saw how the other side was shot. Alright, this side right here has still got about half life on the pads. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but there's still a lot of pad material on there. Let me see if I can get a light in there. Show you guys what I'm talking about. See that back pad still got a ton of life on it, so's the front one. This side right here is barely worn. It's worn a little more than new, but it's still nowhere near what the other side was. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And that's the same side that wore out last time. Both of these rotors are from the same company. Both brake pad sets are from the same company. And it's on the back side that keeps wearing out, not the front side. So I'm wondering if that caliper was sticking over there and holding that back pad up against the rotor. I'm thinking that might have been what was going on. Alright guys, we'll investigate further. Alright guys, let's get this rodeo put back together. AutoZone sent us over a little gift. We got We got brake pads, we got a caliper, and we got a rotor. And of course some paperwork that we don't need. So we got the parts to put it back together now. Let's get it put together, guys. I'm gonna flip you around so you can see all the goodies that's going on here. I know I need emergency brake pads, but I'm just gonna bring them out a little bit and adjust them and run them for now because I didn't have the money to get these. So we'll wait on these for a little while. I don't use the e-brake that much anyway, and what I'll do is I'll adjust it on the other side too. And while I've got it up in the air on some maybe questionable jack stands, they're not Harbor Freight, but they're yard sale freebies. We'll see. They've been holding them up for over a week, so it should be fine. We're going to lift the front up and do a tire rotation while we're at it. To do the tire rotation, you want to bring your front right to your left rear, your front left to your right rear, and then put the rears on the front. The rears on the front, I don't think it really matters which side. I like to cross them, but I don't think it really matters. You can put them on either way. All right, let's flip you guys around and we will get started. All right, guys. Start with, these are the pins from the old caliper slide pins. You can trash those or keep them for spares if you ever need them. Like I said, I don't think that these are bent. So we're gonna hold on to these in case I ever need them. I know I've got some on the front that are bent, so I can use these to replace those. They should be the exact same. And we also don't need this entire bracket, by the way. Got brake dust in those. We don't need this entire bracket. They sent us a new bracket with the new caliper, so we don't need that. And this is our old caliper. You guys didn't get to see much of it before, I don't think. That's what the rotor done to it. It popped the piston out, leaked a bunch of fluid out, which means I'm going to have to bleed the system, unfortunately. But, yeah, popped that piston completely out. And it ate the piston up, so we're done. This one's got to be replaced. So we are going to swap it first. And we'll just kind of lay it right there. That's not too bad to swap. And then the rest of it's just the mounting bracket and stuff like that. And fortunately, they sent us a whole new one with the caliper, like I said. We got, where's the label? Got some awesome Duralast parts going on here. Thank you, AutoZone. You guys got this here to me overnight. It was here the next day. So thank you guys very much for getting these parts to me quickly. Unfortunately, what took so long was I just had to wait for the money to purchase the parts. Because for this whole kit, for the caliper, the bracket, the rotor, the brake pads, was $222. But because AutoZone is running a February deal, at the time I ordered these parts, I got them for 20% off with free shipping. You guys check out their website, check out their app. Their app offers all kind of deals, and so does their website. Sometimes if you order $100 or more in parts, you can get free shipping and 20% off. Go check them out, guys. AutoZone is awesome. I love doing business with AutoZone. I have nothing but good stuff to say about them, especially the Commerce location. The Commerce, Georgia location, those guys, their employees are just amazing employees. They know what they're talking about. You know, you don't have to explain what you shouldn't have to explain when you go into that place looking for parts. They already know. Alright, let's get this started, guys. We got our bracket hardware. This is the clips and stuff for your pads. We got our new caliper here. Nice shiny new caliper with our copper washers and a new bolt. Got new slide hardware on the bracket. So what we'll probably do is we'll just probably install this whole thing as an assembly. And then just install the rotor first. And I got to put the clips on, so we'll do that in just a minute. So we'll go ahead and throw this rotor on. Got to get these lugs off. These 6 lug wheels for this vehicle are pretty hard to find. They because the center diameter is different from most 6-lug vehicles. But if you look hard enough at a junkyard and find any kind of Honda Passport, now of course it would have to have 6 lugs. Honda Passport, Nissan Pathfinder, Isuzu Rodeos. There's another one. I think some of the Amigos were 6 lugs too that would fit this. Not positive on that one, so don't hold me to that one. Honda Passports, Pathfinders, and a few other little SUVs that would fit. There's a couple SUVs that would fit. But what it is, you can find the pattern, the 6-lug pattern, but this center hub on the back and on the front is what gets you, because that diameter is so large, it's hard to find one that's going to fit over that. And when you're doing stuff like this, guys, typically clean this right here, this little nub right here that pokes out. I want to take a wire brush and clean this. Now, I'm not going to, because I'm not overly worried about it. We don't have much rust here in the south, so I don't worry about it that much. You people like Junkyard Diggs and Autotech Mike Pfeiffer and a few others up north, y'all have to worry about the rust a little more than I do. I'll keep my southern non-rust vehicles compared to what you guys have had. All right, let's see if I can get this rotor out of this box. All right. Stuff like this is why you always carry a good pocket knife. And guys, remember, these rotors, they come with a factory coating to keep them from rusting. So you need to spray them before you install them. Because, believe me, I've done it. I made the mistake of not spraying some one time because I was in a hurry. I was stranded on the side of the road and had to get it off the side of the road that afternoon. I put a set on this thing one time, years and years ago, that didn't get sprayed. And it put a coating on the rotor that made the brakes not grab good. Eventually they started grabbing again, but they didn't grab good for a long time. Hoping this is the right rotor. I hadn't really looked at it to see if it was. I probably should have checked that before we started. It looks right. Looks the same as the other one. We'll just grab the other one over here and see real quick. We'll stick it right here. Are you serious? Okay, good. It went on. I was fixing to say, are you serious? Don't hear any scrubbing going on. And I don't hear any scrubbing going on. You also want to spray them to make sure you don't have any grease from your fingers on them, because that can also cause them not to grab. Yep, looks the same to me. And guys, ant season in springtime is getting in full force here, so everything you lay down, an ant tries to build an ant hill up under it. I gotta have my morning go-go juice in my Contigo cup. These cups are amazing, guys. This one's got a seal on the top of it, so it doesn't leak. Doesn't matter what you do with it, it's not gonna leak. Check them out. They are not sponsored the channel. I just like their cups. Some good Italian coffee. I like to try different brews of coffee. They're interesting. That one's an Italian brew. Alright, so the rotor is installed. We will wipe it down. Ah, hell, we'll go ahead and wipe it down. Good old Shop Pro brake clean. Only one I had on the shelf. Well, I gotta bring you guys back because I have to go and get shop towels. I will be back. I came unprepared again. Alright guys, got the shop towels now. So what I'll do is I'll clean the front first, because it's already on the... I'll clean the back first, since I have to take the hub off. And remember to clean your drum brake area too. Your area for the emergency brakes. I'm going to spray all that off too before I put this back on. Get it all a good wash down. Never hurts. This stuff is not going to hurt the pads, guys. It will, however, if it gets on your thighs, on your legs, it will light those thighs up like somebody stuck fire to them. I promise you. Don't ask me how I know. Alright, now let's clean the back. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing, can you? Well, let's fix that. There we go. I'm going to spray the rag because I don't want to spray this while it sits on my leg. Once again, bad experiences. And what this will do is it'll just wipe that coating off so that your brakes grab good. And remember, make sure you clean both surfaces. Because you don't want to put your emergency brake on one day and turn around and find out that it's not going to grab good. Alright, there's the back. So we will take and stick it back on here. This way, if I touch the front, it don't matter. There we go. Now we'll clean the front. Yeah, we'll use a different rag. Using a different rag because I don't want to put grease on the front that come off the back. And then just wipe it down, guys. That's all there is to it. Notice I don't spray down these areas because what that stuff will do is it'll act as a rust protectant, so I don't never have to worry about it. Don't hear it scrubbing anywhere. And I am going to take that back off because I forgot to adjust the e-brakes. Oh. And remember, let it drip good before you do that. Glad I saw that. Yeah, we'll give that a second to drip. Come here, Mr. Box. We'll set our rotor back in the box without touching the surfaces, preferably. There we go. I don't lay it flat in the box. I stuck it at an angle so that none of the braking surfaces are touching. This way that everything can drip. Unfortunately, my air hose right now is not built up in pressure because I don't have enough power to power the bigger compressor I bought. Well, I didn't buy it. Somebody donated it to me. A neighbor friend donated it to me. So it's just going to have to wait for now with that. But it should drip here in a second. We should be done. See, the adjuster for these brake shoes is down here on the bottom. And you want to make sure you're adjusting it out, not in. And what you got to do is just watch carefully. I'm going to get up here where I can try to see it better. That's in. So we want to go up. So I think the way it looks is turning it backwards toward the back of the dust shield is bringing them out. Pulling it forward to you brings them in. Let's see how that works. Remember, try not to touch the braking surfaces of it. They sound like they may be scrubbing just a tad, but that's okay, I don't mind that. Won't see any scrub marks, so let's go a little further. Let's try that. And that clunking noise you hear is my wheel leaning up against the axle on the other side. Tell you what though, that little star wheel hurts your fingers. And I know they make a tool for it, but I don't want to go get it. It's in the shop. Alright, that feels like they should grab good right there. Yeah, they'll grab good right there. Re-wipe it down, just to be sure. And guys, I'm real particular when it comes to my brake stuff. I used to do brakes for customers years ago, but I don't do it as much now. I'll do it for friends and family, but as far as for customers, I don't like to do it because I learned over the years people are real picky about how their brake pedal feels, and they panic if it feels just a little bit different. And they don't understand sometimes when you change the brakes, sometimes the pedal can feel different. Especially if you've had air in the line and stuff like that. Sometimes they don't understand that. Especially on drum brakes. Drum brakes are finicky. Especially on my 72. They are a nightmare on that truck. The first time I done those brakes, it took me 6 months to get them figured out right, because I have an air hole in the line somewhere and I don't know where, because it's not leaking any fluid. I think it's the, you know what, never mind, we'll get to that later. That'll be another video. Alright guys, let's make sure these are good and adjusted. I did not want to do that. Alright, they're settled in good right there. I wanted to make sure that they were pushed in all the way is what I was doing. Alright, I think we're good to put the rotor on. Swap the caliper. I think we're going to swap the caliper and then stick the rotor back on, because I don't want to get any brake fluid on that clean caliper, on that clean rotor. And we'll go from there. Ow. This wheel hurt my butt. This is actually a very nice caliper, guys. It was the more expensive of the two. The passenger side one for these vehicles, for some reason, are only like 60 bucks. This one was $77. I don't know why they're different prices for each side, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. Alright, what we'll do is, our bleeder's not loose. This bolt's already loose, but we'll leave it in for now. Just making sure my new one's in order. We'll install the hardware and stuff afterwards. Scoot up here where I can actually sit on this tire instead of the wheel. Oh, something just went down the neck of my shirt. Not cool. It was a leaf. Alright. We'll put this right here just so I can break this bolt loose. I wanted to crimp this line off, But with the age of this vehicle, I'm scared it'll break some of the interior parts loose, and it will cause it to clog up the line. So I'm not going to crimp it. I've got to bleed the system anyway because so much brake fluid come out of here. So I'm just going to bleed it and fix it that way. So if it loses air, it'll be fine. And this vehicle has a weird little... Oh, you guys can't see, can you? Here, let's fix that. Let me adjust you a little bit. Excuse my greasy hands. Alright, that's better. This one has a weird little line right here that pokes down into a hole on the new caliper. I have no idea why that's there. It's interesting. I think it may just be for support to keep the line from twisting. I'm going to go with that, but who knows? Let's see. Grab the socket here. Let's see, we'll try 5/16. Yep, I figured that's what it was. I'm going to move this over here because I don't want it to drip brake fluid on the stuff I just cleaned. That's loose enough. I can take it off with my hands now. There we go. Go ahead and take that bolt and the washer off. Make sure you get the old copper washers off, because those copper washers are the new kit come with them. Might as well replace them while you're in here. There's no need in keeping them. I mean, I'll keep them for spare parts for something else, but other than that, don't put them back on here. I like to keep them just in case I lose them off of something else I'm working on. I have one until I can get another one. That way the progress on that particular vehicle doesn't stop right then and there. And yeah, that's what that is. It's just a little stabilizer bar that keeps that line from twisting. Alrighty. Got our new caliper. We're going to pull the new bolt out. And guys, always make sure your caliper is the right one for the right side. Your air bleed should always be pointing up. Your air bleed should never point down. To my knowledge, I've never seen one that pointed down. I may be wrong. Some vehicles may have some weird system that causes them to point down, but I've never seen one point down. And the brake pads I got for this car are Duralast Gold. They are ceramic brake pads, which I think most brake pads are ceramic these days. Alright, let's put the line on first. What did I do with that bolt? Okay. Put your bolt through first. Let's see, they had a washer on top and a washer under. Yep. And these little copper washers are designed to crush a little bit to help it seal better. And they, of course, don't give you a whole lot of line to work with. I think the bare minimum of the line. See how that goes down in that little hole right there in the caliper? I guess that helps stabilize it for when you tighten it so you don't snap the line or something like that. And this one does not look like a 15/16, I don't think. Come on, quit dropping the socket. Nope, this one's smaller. This one is a 14. I don't know why I got my metrics and my standards mixed up. I think it's because my socket bucket turned over one time. The little plastic container they go in. Anyway, we will tighten this line up. plenty good enough. And a little tip, especially for you guys from the north, the old caliper had a rubber nipple on the bleed screw. Take that off. Put it on the new caliper. Keeps dirt and gunk out of your caliper. I don't know why the new one didn't come with one. See? Come right off, rubber nipple. I'm not going to put it on yet because I still have to bleed the brakes. Oh yeah, that's going to fit up good. Wait a minute. Actually, I think it goes that way. Yes. It's been a while since I've done this, guys, so bear with me. Yep. Goes in front of the axle bracket. Alright, now we will grab our rotor. And these rotors for these vehicles are not light. They are quite heavy. The front ones are even worse. The front ones are like a weird little two-piece setup. You have to take the hub assembly off, then take the center bearing assembly out. Alright, we'll stick that there for a minute. I got the bolts for it down there, but we got to put our brake pad hardware on. Alright, guys. And this is why I left the old brake hardware on the bracket, because I wanted to see how it went. But now that I see how it goes, it's not going to be hard to go on. Because these have little tone rings on them that will make a noise whenever your brake pads get worn, so that you'll know when to change them easier. And I'm just looking right now, guys, to see which one's for which side. Okay, they look like they go like that. Okay. Ow, my head. Let's see, how do we got that bracket laying like that? Yep. Alright, so this one's gonna go on this side. I'm hoping not to have to pull the caliper off of the bracket, so I can just stick it all on as an assembly. Make my life much easier that way. There we go. And you can put anti-seize on some of this hardware to keep it from making noises in the future. I'm not that worried about it. I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's gonna make any noise. And you just want to make sure that's in there good and it's not gonna be hitting anything it's not supposed to. I've never really had them go anywhere. Yeah, they have a little locator tab on them right here too. This little tab right here, it won't let them slide too far. Alright, there's that one. Alright, we will grab our bracket bolts out of the old bracket. nice. Well, can't have brakes without pads, guys. Look at the nice packaging on these pads. I mean, these pads have some awesome packaging. They're even wrapped in a cardboard material to protect them. Each individual one is wrapped. They're not just wrapped as sets. And that is awesome. Got the plate on the back of them. These are very nice brakes, guys. Hoping I ordered the right set. Alright, guys. This brake pad goes on the back. The one that's got this little piece on it goes on the inside to the caliper. So you want to put it in like this. And they should just drop right in there, guys. You're not going to have to fight them. I mean, you might have to press them a little bit to get them over the shims, because there's little tabs on those shims that kind of hold them in place. And every time you do brakes on a car, guys, you should be replacing the hardware, because that hardware really helps the longevity of your brakes. So if you can find it and you're doing the brake job on something, replace it, guys. It's not that big a deal. They're only a few bucks. They're not expensive. Just replace them. This is your front pad. This goes on the front of the caliper. And it too has little tabs that hold it in place. If you guys can see that. See the little tab I'm pushing on right there? I'll show you better on the other side. This one can be a booger to get in sometimes. Especially if you got them tilted like this. There we go. Alright, brake pads are on. I want to slide that bracket back just a tad. Now I should be able to slide it right over the brake rotor. My bolts are up here. Alright, guys. Hold on, we had a brake pad fall out of place. Alright, now let's try it. And they're gonna fit kind of snug over this rotor, but they shouldn't be so tight that you couldn't move the rotor. They'll loosen up once we bleed everything and get everything set in properly. Guys, brake jobs aren't hard to do. You just have to be willing to take your time and pay close attention to what you're doing. Make sure that you're doing it right. Though I wish they had sent the caliper bracket bolts. As well. They're going to send the hardware for everything else. Send the bracket bolt hardware too. Alright, let's grab a ratchet over here. Don't know what size those are, I can't remember. Gonna be 5/16. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, 5/16. I think that's what it says. Yeah, 5/16. We'll run it in like this. we'll have to grab an extension in a minute possibly. Because of that brake hose, yep. Gotta grab a short extension. Guys, I hope you're all having a good year so far. We're doing pretty good over this way. Be better if the weather would even out a little bit. Because it is still crazy wet outside here. And we still got more rain coming next week. Unfortunately, guys, that's why I haven't put too many videos out lately, because the weather has been so rough and I don't have anywhere to work inside, so that's why my videos have been few and far in between. It's because of that. Alright, those are tight enough. Make sure that rotor spins. You can hear it scrubbing just a tad, but that's because that caliper is like it is. Because I can I'll take my knife here. Just because the caliper is so snug, I can take my knife and push this front pad back just a tad, and it won't be as bad. It got tighter because the caliper pulled tight on it. See, these little things are keeping some pressure on it, but it'll loosen up. It'll loosen up as we go, especially once I start bleeding it, but it's not grabbing bad anyway. Alright guys, that's it for this side till I get ready to bleed it. I'm going to throw a lug nut or two on to hold that in place. And then we'll move to the other side and throw the pads on over there. And I've got one more thing I'm going to show you that we're going to fix in a video here shortly while I've got it up on the jacks. But that'll be a different video. And these don't run down all the way. This is just to make sure it don't fall off in the process. Yeah, see how that rotor's not on there straight. That's why it's pulling so tight. The rotor's kind of jacked sideways a little bit. So once we tighten it down on the wheel, that'll loosen itself up. So we're good. I'm hoping to get my emergency brakes back working again, because I'm tired of not having emergency brakes. Oh, that one's screwed all the way down. This one just must be stiff. That's why I put a little bit of anti-seize on the lug nuts, just a tiny bit, and do this at your own risk. I did this because these were so rusty and I couldn't hardly get them off even with the air gun, but I do not recommend everybody do that. They need to be loosened up, clean them real good, and spray them with some WD-40 or something like that, and then clean it back off, and they'll be fine. I just did this in a pinch. Alright guys, I'll bring you back with the other side. Alright guys, we're on the passenger side this time. I've already got the top bracket bolt loose. Just loosen the bottom one. Let's get these brake pads changed on this side. And we don't even really have to take this whole rotor off. What we could do, the caliper, what we could actually do Just put this top bolt back in, just loosely. Well, I was gonna say we could flip it up, but the shield's in the way, so that ain't gonna happen. Alrighty. Now we got it where we can get to it. Let's raise you guys up a little bit where you can see what I'm doing. There you go, that's a little better. I'm kind of seeing the brake caliper now. Alright, I'm not going to put hardware on this side, guys, just because I didn't have the funds for it right now. And these pads on this side aren't too bad. I mean, they had a little life left in them, but they're not too bad. But I like to change the pads on both sides, and you get them as a set of 4 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And another thing I should add, guys, if you're going to change the rotor on one side, change the other side too. I didn't do it because these rotors are pricey, and it just wouldn't in the funds right now. But if you're going to change the rotor, change it on both sides. That way they wear the same, you don't have any issues. It's best to do it that way. Everything looks good on this side. You could at least put some like anti-seize on these little contact points to help keep them sliding freely. These slide pretty decent on the back, so I don't think I'm going to worry about it. Nah, I think it'll be alright. Those slid out pretty easy, so I think we'll be fine. And I am going to go old school on showing y'all how to press that caliper back in. Because I know most people don't have the tool to press it in. The proper tool to press it in. I just use a C-clamp, guys. It's the same thing. Take your caliper and get it in a good position where you can get to it. Take it like that. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me turn you a little bit here. There you go. You're going to put the end of it that's got the screw on it inside the piston, and the back of the caliper. The back of the caliper and the bottom of the C-clamp are going to touch. And I'll get you a better shot in just a second, guys. And you really should change brakes on all 4 corners at the same time. But I looked at the front brakes when I parked it and I thought they were pretty decent. I'm going to check them again when I rotate the tires. But it should be good. Alright, let's give you guys a better shot. I'm going to raise you up a little bit here. Tilt you in. Like that. Did not help. Let's see here. How about now? Let's see, that right there gives you guys a much better view. Alright. Now watch that piston. It's going to move back just a little bit further. And this works with most cars. There are some newer style cars that have those calipers that screw in instead of press in. And you have to rent the tool for those, but it's still not that bad to do, guys. Just a little bit extra work, that's all. And this side actually looks like the bracket on it came from a junkyard, because it's got initials marked on it with a marker. Alright, caliper's pressed in. We'll lay it right there for now. Grab our new pads. Our new Duralast gold pads. Remember, tab goes on the back. Get my big old noggin in here. That one's in good. We'll throw the front one in real quick. Slide our caliper forward a little bit. Make sure everything moves good. Most important thing is that your pads don't hang up anywhere. You don't want them hanging up or sticking on anything, because then when it clamps and the caliper releases, the pad won't slide back with it, so then it stays stuck to the rotor and it's grinding going down the road. It'll give you premature brake wear. And if you'll look at these pads right here, you can tell that they were grinding a little bit, but not bad, because they're kind of uneven, but it's not bad enough for me to worry about. It tells me the slide pin may be grabbing a little bit, or these brackets right here may need a little lube on them, because you should always clean it up. Am I going to do that this time around? Nah. I don't know, that front one might need a little bit. We'll do it like this. Just wiggle the pad back and forth a little bit. That'll clean them off a little bit. There. We'll let that be it for that one. Because like I said, guys, I need this car back on the road tomorrow, because I have school this week, which I don't believe I've informed you guys yet. I have gone back to get my GED. I've taken and passed all the tests but one, and the only one I'm lacking is math. I will be taking it this week. So let's go. You want to try not to twist your hose up very much. And remember, guys, if you do this on a car that you're not changing the rotor on, and you put one rotor different, you may have a little more pedal travel than normal because of that one rotor being thinner. And this is also an effect when you're having some rotors turned and stuff too. Sometimes you'll have a little more pedal travel. That's just my experience. I'm not saying it's always going to happen. But sometimes you'll have a little more pedal travel than usual. And I'm not talking like 3 inches of pedal travel either. I'm talking, you know, maybe ½ inch pedal travel, if that. You just want to make sure it's on there good and tight. You want to make sure it ain't going to go anywhere. You could torque these. I've been doing this long enough, I'm not that worried about it. But you could always torque them if you wanted to. And this is a 17mm socket, not a 5/16. My box is mixed up for some reason. I'll have to get it resorted. I think I dumped it out at one point in time doing something and never did fix it, but I'll get it fixed back. Alright, we'll lower you guys back down a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing and not my ugly face. Alright. Now, I mentioned there was another issue I was having with this car, and I'm about to show it to you. I think we're going to fix it while I've got it up on the jack stands and can get to it. But And I think in one of my previous videos I stated that I had a brake light and a rear ABS light on in this car. And, well, I'm going to show you what I found that was causing it. If you look right here, this is the line to my ABS. Snapped clean off. And this car only has one ABS sensor for the rear. That one is snapped clean off. Goes right here. So we're going to see if we can't trim and solder those back together while we're up under here.